On this channel to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Over on total for the daily, it does look like we're still within our pattern. We did try to break out of it, so we'll look at the hourly to see how that looks. Our VWAP is breaking forward, momentum is gaining strength, and the money flow does want to push forward. So as long as this continues, then we can continue forward. Over on the 1 hour, it does look like we attempted to get a breakout and we are starting to curl away. So I would exercise caution. Now, there are things with the war that have been more positive that say that it may come to an end. So the market is pumping due to that news. But I would still exercise caution because usually after the third hit to the top is when we get our breakout. If we do not get our breakout at this point, then we do have a chance to hit the bottom again, at which point we could invalidate our pattern and then still continue lower. So I would watch this very closely here. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory. How are you doing, Abolisher? We'll get Ethan and Graph for you. Our money flow is starting to pull back. Momentum is rounding. Stochastic and RSI are dropping. So overall, we are losing a little bit of strength. And we did get our rejection. So I would err on the side of caution. But overall, this does look positive. We could still have a bullish continuation as these lows don't really connect very well. So providing we don't make a lower low and break, I'd say if we don't break below the 778, then we're safe from our altcoins breaking down. But if we broke that level, then I would be a little more cautionary. So if we look over at Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did almost fill our full gap. So this is going to be a very important spot because once we overcome this gap, if we can't get higher highs with higher lows and we start to pull back, then we do have those lower gaps that we could end up filling. Again, that's going to be more heavily reliant on this war news. If it does end up ending like we have that suggestion, then it's likely we won't see those lower gaps until possibly the bear market. But if things go south for that, then it's likely we would drop down to those. And then we do have some other like micro things that affect the US, but it's not going to affect Bitcoin as much, like tariffs and things, because those are more, Bitcoin is more global, whereas stocks are more centralized to the US. So things going on in the US are going to affect the stocks more than they would in a cryptocurrency. Our stochastic does want to push up. RSI is pushing forward. VWAP is gaining strength. Momentum does have a bullish divergence. So this does signal we may try to run up. Over on the 1 hour, we do have the same rejection as we saw on total, and we do have a gap to the downside. So a little cautionary here because remember, gaps have an 80% chance to fill. And if we don't snap back down and fill this gap now, that does mean we could run up and fill it later, which would not be very good. Our stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is starting to weaken. Momentum is rounding. That VWAP is breaking down with lower highs and lower lows. So we are starting a bearish trend here. Keep that in mind because if this bearish trend continues, momentum will continue to round. Money flow will continue to pull back and price action will follow. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, again, we do have a higher low, so as long as we can continue with higher highs and create a bullish pattern, we could push forward and invalidate any kind of bearish indicators on our bearish-like sentiment on our indicators. That VWAP does want to push up. Momentum is starting to gain strength. Money flow does want to push up. RSI and stochastic do look like they are trying to gain strength, but they're not very strong, so just keep an eye caution here. Over on the 1 hour, we do have higher highs and higher lows. I would not say they connect because we kind of have this big dip here. So we may have that bullish continuation. Again, we need further higher highs and higher lows. So as long as we don't break our Fibonacci level around that 81, 82K, I say we should be fine. Our stochastic does want to round. Momentum is starting to round. VWAP is breaking for a lower low after getting a lower high. So we do have a bearish trend there. And if that doesn't reverse, I would try to retest that 82K level. At which point, if it maintains bearishly, we could break. So I would err on the side of caution. It does look like we may start to get a little bit of a retracement based on our indicators. But again, with the news of the war, if that goes positive, we could see our crypto just explode because that's going to heavily outweigh things. People are going to be afraid to be blown to bits. Our VWAP does want to push up. Momentum is gaining strength. Money flow does want to push up. Overall, on graph for the daily, we do look positive. Again, just watch things as we may have that little same thing going on the hourly as we saw in total. So yeah, we have that same thing going on. We have that bearish continuation possibility, but that VWAP is starting to favor more bearish. So keep an eye on that VWAP very close. It needs to push up soon within the next few hours. I'd say within like 5-6 hours, if we don't start seeing a push up, I would start to exercise a little more caution. Momentum does want to push down, and VWAP is pushing down, and money flow is selling off. So again, as long as we don't get a lower low, we could still continue a bullish continuation. But if we get a lower low, watch out for a lower high, as that could start to kick things down. And I would watch out for any kind of news that would come off the curtail of that. So now to ETH for you, Abolisher, and then remember, if anyone has any other special requests, please drop them in the chat, because after Ethereum, I'll probably cover XRP because it's been a while, and then we'll probably get off there. Our stochastic is pretty flat here. RSI is pretty flat on the daily. VWAP does want to break bullish. Momentum is trying to push up with a double green dot, and money flow is starting to gain strength. So we could gain some strength here. I would watch though, because we do have a bit of a downtrend and consolidation, and our pattern has been downtrend, consolidation, downtrend, consolidation, downtrend, consolidation. So watch that, because remember, the trend is your friend until it ends, and you don't want this trend to continue, because it wouldn't be a friend of mine. It'd be a very painful friend. Over on the 1 hour, we have that consolidation here. We did try to break that support level, and we did kind of bounce forward. So that is a little bit positive. We did get a retest making a higher low, but we're failing to get higher highs. This could be a rising triangle here, as we do have those higher lows. That would be a very, very long triangle, so I'm not going to try to draw it, but it could try to push us up. It wouldn't push you up very far. It'd probably push you up right around that 2K level. Our stochastic does want to round away. Momentum is starting to round with the red dot. RSI is starting to pull back. That VWAP does have a lower low. So again, watch that VWAP very close, as if it favors bearishly here with this lower low and lower high, then momentum and money flow will fall. Higher time frames will then weaken, and we could retrace our gains. Again, watch for higher lows with higher highs. If we can continue getting the higher lows with flat highs, we would stay in our pattern. Our indicators would go flat, and then we could get that little bit of a break forward. And then if total were to run up, then we could continue a run from there, but I would really watch that total. It pretty much dictates most of the market. It excludes Ethereum, so it's not really going to help you on Ethereum, but if altcoins are selling off, odds are Ethereum is too, because it's kind of been a lagger, in my opinion, for altcoins. Thank you all for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like and subscribe, and join us in the Discord.